Hello and welcome back to the Canaries Chat podcast. My name's Luke, and as always, I'm here with my co-host Chris, where we'll be covering all things Norwich City. We've got quite a lot to catch up on today because there's been 3 games within a week. We're going to go through and delve into all them games, speak about the recent performances, and as always, have a little bit of fun on the way. Chris, long time no see. How are you, my man? How you been doing? Norwich City are unbelievable.
I'm very well, thank you, Luke. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing very well, mate. Very, very well. I just absolutely loving Norwich City Football Club right now. I can't lie.
Yes. And what's not to love about it?
You
What
tell
is
me.
not to love? It is just a thing of beauty at this point in time.
It is, and obviously last pod we spoke about the unfortunate away game of Swansea at the time, and then obviously we absolutely battered Watford at home, and we've had 3 games since then. I think looking at it now, I don't think we're expecting as many points as we have got over those 3 games, but we'll go into depth in every single one of the games and speak about our thoughts on it. So to start us off, Derby away. If you haven't already, watch the little match day vlog. I went to the game. Very, very entertaining game on YouTube. Give it a watch. Good little vlog. Good little vlog that was. I very much enjoyed doing it. Let's just say it was full of controversy, wasn't it?
It was indeed. All in all, though, I don't personally think it would have changed the result, even
No.
if things were corrected. But yeah, I think if we go through each controversial point at a time, see what your opinion was. Obviously, we had the first goal. I don't know from your angle what part of the stadium it was at, but like, was it clear for you at that point in time that it had gone out? I know I sent a screenshot of it, but was it clear for you at that point in time that it was miles off?
Well, it looked like it was off, but unfortunately it was our end. But because it was the other side of the goal, no one could really see it because we were like directly looking down the line, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because it was behind the posts, you couldn't. It looked off. I think that's why the celebrations got like they're a little bit hesitant. I'll be honest, like it looked off to me, and I couldn't believe that it got given. I was expecting like a flag to go up or like the ref, and it just didn't. And I was like, oh my god. And yeah, it was just weird. I think that's the first time Derby conceded in the first half in like 10 games at that point. Obviously, a little bit of controversy aside, yeah, I don't think the Derby fans were happy that we broke that little record in the way that we did.
But let's not kind of take away though from the fact of that finish from Borja Sainz was unbelievable. Like that flick, it was in close proximity as well. So to be thinking on your feet to get that is very
Do you
well
know
done.
when do you know when players like take the piss when they're like offside and stuff like that because they know they're offside and they do like a flashy little like skill move? I think he genuinely was just taking the piss because he thought it was going to get given as off.
Yeah.
And then like it got given, and next thing you know, he's better than Ronaldinho.
No, I think it was easy to get caught up in the fact it was a massive fumble by the linesman. So yeah, taking the controversy away from that goal, and the way that he finished that, I think it just shows where Sainz is at the moment with his confidence and how he's feeling at the moment. And I know there was a little bit of criticism from him at the start of the season around his finishing and his decision making. And I kind of think he maybe took a little bit of that to heart, which I don't mind. It shows that he cares and he wants to do well. But I think that Derby game was a real kind of show of intent of just how good he can be in the Championship.
Definitely some player. I think we could all tell that last year as well that he definitely had a bit about him and he did have that flair. But like the Thorup has just absolutely brought him to life, isn't he? and he's doing, so well at the moment. And obviously, we've only spoken about the first goal. I think the goal to level it up was a little bit sloppy from our part. Didn't think we cleared our lines very well in the corner, which
Agreed.
wasn't great. It was just one of them. It was a good hit, but I think they'd been disappointed in the way that we did concede that goal.
Yeah.
But I think we can look back at it now and kind of be all right with it, because that second goal of Signs, what a run that was and what a finish that was into the bottom corner.
Yeah, and I think this is where Josh Sargent needs a bit of plaudits as well, because he's so unselfish with his runs that with him kind of drifting out to the right, it kind of forced the Derby players into making a decision.
Yeah,
You
agreed.
either track Sargent or you close the ball down. And naturally, whether it's the right or wrong decision, I personally think you probably track the runner and you try and back your goalkeeper to make a save outside the box.
Agreed. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself here because I know we'll talk about it, but Sargent has been getting a little bit of stick recently for not scoring, but he is the reason why we are where we are and why the other players are doing so well. Like you said, the runs that he makes opens up that space. He's assisted a load of goals as well. Obviously, he is still scoring a few as it is. He's so important to that team. I think that what people have got to remember is yes, he is a striker, but it's about what he does off the ball as well. And I think from his previous years, he's always going to be the player that teams look at and they'll try and kind of mark and kind of sniff out in games. But that's just allowing the likes of Signs to really, really excel in games as well.
Yeah, no, 100%. He's extremely unselfish in the way that he plays, and sometimes that's to his downfall. He could be a little bit more greedy in places, but I think 100% spot on. I think if we didn't have Sargent playing the way that he's doing, making the runs that he's making, I don't think Sainz gets the space that he has to be getting the goals he's been getting.
No, agreed.
But it's very this is very premature, but the link up between those two is slightly reminiscent of that Wendy Pookie. They've now, especially over the last few games, that outside of the boot through ball that Sarge did to Sainz for the third goal. I've seen Sainz try and do that twice for Sargent now. It's coming. That kind of synergy between the two is just building and building and building, and I think it's very exciting to see how that kind of relationship on the pitch kind of grows, because I do believe that'll be an instrumental factor. I don't think that's a wild claim to make. I don't think anyone with a pair of eyes could say that, but I do think it'll be an instrumental factor to see where we finish this season is dependent on how well Sainz and Sargent play together.
Agreed. And I think there was a lot of nervousness around us losing Rowe and us losing Gabby. And naturally, you would be, wouldn't you? Because you look at their performances last year and you look at Gabriel Saras since he joined the club. What a hell of a football player. So to go from losing two of your best players, obviously, to our team now, I think it would have taken a lot of convincing at the start to kind of say, do you know what, it is going to be okay, trust it. And Thorpe has just, dealt with the situation so well. He's recruited really well, and he's got us playing nice kind of free flowing football. It's just great to kind of now almost think that Rowe and Sarah are a thing of the past with how we are at the minute. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, 100%. And I think that's fully down to Thorpe and Napper just making those decisions. If you want in, brilliant. I don't think Sarah was one that didn't want to be here, but sacrifices had to be made to keep the club financed appropriately. So I do think that was necessary to get rid of Sarah to keep that in the right place. But the likes of Rowe, Kamara, players like that, we're not really talking about them anymore. We're not missing Johnny Rowe's creativity because we've got Science's creativity and things like that. And Science has got a better injury record than Rowe over last year. So yeah, we're in a very good. I think that Derby game did show it. I know there was also controversy third goal. I personally don't think the whole ball went out, so I don't think that's an issue. But I know that Derby went to kind of the FA or the refereeing board, whichever one it was, to put across their case for the two of our goals. And in fairness, they also said they believed their goal was potentially offside. Interestingly, they only said that because there was clear evidence that only the first goal was incorrectly interpreted. I genuinely think that they are offside for their goal.
I'm not being funny. If that was in the Premier League, that would have been given as offside because he's obstructing Gunn's view there, in an offside position. And if they really want to be that picky about obviously the first goal, like that would have been a handball. I think Cashew literally like
blocked it with his arm.
Blocked
above
it with
his
his
head.
arm, yeah. So,
yeah,
you know.
100% agreed, 100%. But yeah, I did find it just a bit peculiar that they didn't see it as offside. I know they didn't believe our third goal went fully out as they had an angle supposedly to show that it didn't. I know we posted like a still of it as Stacey was kicking it, that it looked like it hadn't gone all
See
the
how
way
you look
over.
at it. If you look at it from like a bird's eye view, I think that whole ball isn't out.
No, agreed. But yeah, I just think we talked about it in pods that we're going to have ups, we're going to have downs, but we've got an identity now, and it's this. I know we keep on talking about the transitions through the thirds. It's just so good. You watch and there's always a triangle on. There's always a triangle. Whether it's the left back to the centre mid to the left wing, right back centre mid to the right wing, or if it's centre mid to Sarge to right wing. There is always a triangle, and it just allows us to see those patterns of play, and it allows us to move so quickly up the pitch. Without those, you're playing flat lines and you play the way you're facing, and it's a lot slower. We're not. This sounds odd to say. We're not playing that dissimilar to Wagner in terms of style, but we're implementing it properly.
Yeah.
So
agreed.
Wagner's style was soak up a bit of pressure and you get them on the counter. Right?
Yeah.
We're able to do that, but one, we implement a high press, which Wagner tried to do, didn't work. But two, when we do get the ball back, the speed of playing out and working through that transition is unmatched. It was nowhere to be seen under Wagner. But you could see that was what Wagner was trying to do. But Thorup has managed to get the best out of the players and get them cooking, and they're all on the same wavelength. Like, there's always an option, and they all, you can tell, are very comfortable on the ball.
Yeah.
A big shout out I wanted to say in the Derby game as well, because there were some unbelievable blocks by this man, was Shane Duffy.
Yeah.
I think he has completely turned kind of people's opinions around of him so far this season. I think he's been extremely good, and I think he's been one of the more unsung heroes had this season, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's really turned it around from from the first couple games that he had. He got a lot of heat from them games, which he he didn't have the best of games. Like you can't shy away from that.
Nope.
They weren't his greatest performances, but a true professional, like we speak about and like we spoke about before, are the ones that kind of come back from their moments and really try and work on it. And he has, he's that experienced kind of head in that back four. And he's really, really shown that recently. He's been absolutely amazing. Been really, really impressed with him recently with his performances.
No, 100% agree. And I think we've made like comparisons. I don't know if I mentioned it to work or if this was mentioned on the pod, but I thought Duffy looked last year a lot better and calmer on the ball when he had McLean next to him. Because
Yeah,
McLean was that player that was very calm on the ball themselves.
yeah,
So because he had someone that was calm and composed,
hmm
it kind of drip fed into his style of play. And I think
yeah,
he's got that again, whether that's Cordoba or whether that's Doyle. He's got someone who's very composed, happy with the ball at his feet, ready to kind of spray the ball. Like he can just pass it to them and let them play that Hollywood pass, which I know Callum Doyle, for example, likes to play. He
yeah,
doesn't have to worry about those tricky passes. But even then, like he's done it quite a few times. That like drilled pass into the middle of the park to the centre mid. That's kind of been like his thing at the moment.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. It has.
and that is what quite a few times starts that counter attack because it gets into Slimani. Slimani's on the spin and we're away. He plays it out to Science or he plays it out to Cernat or through to Sarge. Like that's been working. So I just basically wanted to give Duffy a bit of credit because I think he's been very good since that Oxford game. I think he's been kind of instrumental to one of the reasons why we're doing so well.
Agreed. He's been doing really, really well. Yeah, hopefully the performances continue. Hey,
Yeah,
um,
well, did they
sure they
continue,
will.
Luke, from the Derby game? Did they continue?
Well, obviously Leeds at any point is probably going to be quite difficult, isn't it?
Yeah,
Um, and yeah, I'm not really sure where to start with the Leeds game. It was a weird one, wasn't it? I think.
yeah. I think you ask any Norwich fan, and they'd have a point at the start of that game.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
I do, however, think we had some decent opportunities to win the game. But all in all, I think it was a very rugged, is probably the word that I'd use, performance. Like, I, it sounds weird. I didn't feel like we were gonna lose the game,
No,
but I think what you said kind of came true. I know we won the Derby game, Leeds game, but in the previous podcast you were saying about how you believe Derby's a bit more of a banana skin than Leeds was. I kind of nearly felt that way when I was at the game. I was
yeah,
like, oh, actually, like, yeah, when I was watching the Derby game, I was thinking, like, got the opportunity to really screw things up there. Like, we're favourites, even though, but they've got such a good home record, etc., etc. And yeah, it was just, I don't know, it was just a rugged performance. We dug deep in places. I do want to say that I don't think Josh Sargent's penalty was very good. I know he
no,
scored. It sounds silly to say a penalty's not
it
good when you
wasn't.
score.
It wasn't a good pen.
And I suppose that brings me on to I don't think he should be the penalty taker. Personally, I've never felt like super confident that he would
Are you
bury any
saying
penalty.
are you just saying that because obviously he missed against Hull?
No, because I said it in the Leeds game. Um, I go to matches with my dad and my brother-in-law, and all three of us were like, I don't actually think he scores this. And I think it's the way he like. I don't. It's not. He's a very good footballer, so I don't mean it in a horrible. I think it's maybe just the way he carries himself. Like he's not a arrogant person, and sometimes I feel like you've got to have like a little bit of arrogance to be like, yeah, I'm going to batter this in like top corner.
Yeah.
I just don't think. I just don't look at him and see that you've got that confidence that you're just going to bury it.
Yeah.
Which, as I said, it like people will probably think it's quite reactionary because of the most recent one, but like I genuinely didn't believe he scored the Leeds one, and if Melier went with his feet rather than his hands, I don't think he would have scored that. But
Yeah.
equally, I want our striker to be on the highest amount of confidence he can possibly be to keep banging in the goals and getting the assists, which being on penalties will definitely help with. So I can definitely see, but yeah, it's a shame, but I suppose he'll be on the next one. He'll probably score the next one, and he'll
Yeah,
probably
exactly.
all be. But I didn't know what your opinions were on that, Luke.
Yes, the Leeds one wasn't the best. You know, I'm not really sure what Melier was doing. Kind of half committed, but didn't.
Yeah,
Which,
he's had a couple
which
because
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know. I think he's our striker. Naturally, he's probably going to be the ones that is going to take him. But
I'll throw it out there as well. I was never overly keen on Pookie taking him
yeah,
personally. Like
he did miss a few, didn't he?
I had a very similar like. He's not I'm gonna batter it. Like I didn't get the exude. The weird thing is I probably would have taken Pookie in a one-on-one situation rather than him taking a penalty
Yeah,
because him in a one-on-one situation he has that kind of calmness to be like I'm just gonna slot this past the keeper, goal, done. Whereas him in the penalty situation felt just ever so slightly different. Like, but yeah, as it's all personal opinion. As I'd rather our striker be on top form, confidence, and if that's how we have to keep doing it, so be it. I don't mind. Like, if Sarge happy being on
yeah,
pens, I'm all for it. But yeah, that was just my opinion. I just didn't know. I just wanted to air it. Yeah, I wanted to get it off my chest because I've been thinking about it, and I just wanted to put my point across.
Well, like, look, he scored one, isn't he, and missed one. Like, you know, 50%. Yeah, I think he stays on him.
Yeah,
I
I
think,
do.
you know, I think like as a manager and things like that, you'd always. I just don't think you take him off that quick, do you?
Oh no, you
Um,
wouldn't. You personally like as a man, like that's just my opinion. But as an actual manager, you'd never do that because it would kill his confidence from there.
yeah, exactly. But you know, yeah, he didn't score that pen. Well, he did score one, missed the other one, but you know, he's been playing absolutely fantastic. Um, you know, other than that one miss, but yeah, he's a very very good football player, and I absolutely love him.
Yeah, no, I think he's starting to get more plaudits from other fans as well around like his unselfishness, which I think when other fans start to realise that you're definitely doing something right because they're normally the first ones to jump on a striker which maybe isn't scoring as much or things like that. But actually, I think a lot of people are now seeing that he's not just there for goals, he's there for team play, he's there for his assists, he's there for like his hold up play is exceptional as well. And
Yeah,
um, I think it was the turn, wasn't it? For
yeah.
which goal was it? I can't even remember which goal it was. in the whole game. It's
It
like
was the one that went offside.
Was it? Oh, it's just
It
yeah,
was one where he turned that play, then played the through ball, and then
yeah.
Signs went to chip it.
That's the one. That's the one. I was like, oh my god, like that is vile, like
Yeah.
disgustingly good. And it's just bits like that which I think people maybe don't fully appreciate. So Josh Sargent, which I'm sure you are definitely listening to this, please don't leave. We love you.
Never leave. Never,
Please.
ever leave.
You're not allowed.
But yeah, I think it was the Leeds game as a whole was very it was a game of like tactics rather than football. Do you know what I mean? It was very tactical, that game. I think 1-1 is probably a fair result. They had some good chances. We had some good, decent chances. I think again, I think we'll be disappointed with the way that we did concede that goal. I think it was just like a kind of few seconds where he switched off, and then they played that one through ball, and they were through. I think Kenny committed a little bit too much. The man then lost, and then Stacey kind of lost his man as well, and they played it through. I don't think it's any of their faults. I think a couple of them got quite a lot of stick for it, but I just think it was one on ones. It was just a good ball through which caught us out, and they scored from it. I don't think it's necessarily anyone's fault as such. But it's just one of them things, isn't it?
Agree.
So, but overall, really, really pleased with how we've been playing recently. We're looking like a very, very good team in form at the moment. I don't think anyone can argue with obviously the point that we did get a Leeds at home, and the Derby game. But that then leads us to our most recent game against Hull, where again I think there's a little bit of not nervousness as such, but I think obviously Hull had scored 10 or 12 in their last 3 games, hadn't really conceded many goals. They were in a good run of form. We all thought they were going to be pretty up for the game. Yeah. It's just one of them Norwich home performances where we were just absolutely outstanding, and it was just one of them games where nobody in that league was beating us on that Saturday.
I once again with you, Luke, 100% agree. I thought we were class from start to finish. I did see a few tweets going about saying we couldn't be playing them at a worse time with the form they're bringing. And I do you get that? I believe they'd won the last 3 on the trot. They had a rocky start. Confidence was building. The the fans were backing the manager again, and you're like, oh yeah, actually this could be another banana skin, but it just never looked in doubt to it. We were just so composed. We were so just on it at all points in the game that, I don't think realistically, as you said, anyone rocked up to that game, I think we probably would have beaten them in that form.
Exactly, and I think it could have been more.
Yeah, I was going to say, you've got to think, even in the first half, we had the Sainz chip, which personally
he should just slot that to the right.
I think he actually just had too much time.
Yeah,
he had too much time to make a decision. He went, right, yeah, let's go for the chip. I think he could have just slotted it to his right. The keeper's done. Nunes, I thought, had another very good game. He had that opportunity. He just doesn't have that extra yard of pace to create himself even more space. But yeah, I don't think there was kind of too much else he could have done then in that situation. But yeah, it could have and it should have been more. But at the end of the day, we still scored 4. Can't complain at that, really, can we?
Not at all. I think the first goal from Nunez was absolutely lovely, wasn't it? You know, got it from the outside of the box, kind of took his time a little bit and just placed it top left. Keeper was never ever reaching that whatsoever. And all the goals were just absolutely just lovely. I think the second goal was really, really well worked. You know, we played it out from the back, got it out, played it through to Sanj, then squared it across to Sargent. Again, nothing they could have done about that whatsoever.
Agreed.
Third one, I think they had an absolute nightmare at the back. I don't know why they didn't just clear their lines.
Yeah, no, agreed.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they were doing. But it's great to see someone like Gordon obviously get on the score sheet, and you could just tell like the passion when he scored as well. Like he's absolutely loving it, bless him, and they're really, really pleased for him as well. And then obviously the best out of the lot, the fourth. You know, again, nabbed the ball, one through ball again, and then the keeper was in no man's land. It was a beautiful, chip that signed on to make it 4. But yes, Norwich did absolutely play outstanding. I do believe that no one would have probably beaten us on that day, but Hull were like extremely poor for the form that they'd been in. I was expecting a lot more of a game from them. They were just so leaky at the back, and there was just so many opportunities for us to obviously play it through the gaps. And I'm not. I probably think Forup and the team were a little bit surprised with how poor they played. In all honesty, they just seemed nothing like the team that obviously everyone been talking about. But I will also say the same was said about Watford as well. You know, they're
Yeah,
in a good run of form, and everyone was kind of nervous for that game, and we put 4 past them. So, is it so much that they're playing poor, or is it that we were actually kind of playing like that well, and we've got the kind of tactics there to, force these teams to make them mistakes in the game?
yeah. When you say it like that, because I was extremely disappointed with Hull when they came, and you have a look at kind of Watford now, they're still doing pretty well at the moment, so it wasn't like it was we caught them and they're on bad form and they've been on like a downward spiral ever since, because they haven't.
No.
So that's kind of my thing, and that could happen with Hull. Hull could then be like go back to what they were doing, and I think that'd emphasise your point that it's just the way that we've played and the way that we've pushed teams into playing the way that we want them to play.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was really surprised and pleasantly surprised, because I'd rather them
Obviously,
be
like
absolutely
it's not like
terrible.
a bad thing, is it? Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I absolutely love the game. I thought it was fantastic, but with the amount of like talk with Hull at the moment, and the kind of amount of pundits talking about how good they've been and how many they've shipped the last 3 games, they couldn't even get any past us. But I think that's credit to how good defensively we are at the moment as well. Obviously, I
Yeah,
know they did have a disallowed goal for the handball, and I know they did have a few chances, but they just didn't really look like
they
the
were ever
team that
going to
had been
be in it.
hyped up. Yeah, exactly. They
Yeah,
just weren't. But again, like we said, I think that's credit to us for being so good on the day as well, and not letting them probably play they want the way they want to. And I do think I think this is going to be a little bit bold, and this is one of my bold takes. I do no, but I just do think people see Norwich away on their kind of like fixtures list and think fucking shit. Do you know what I mean? Because
I,
I just it's a fortress at the moment. It's so hard to get points at Carrow Road. I think any team, the next team that does that, like fair play. I don't know when it'll be, but I think people teams probably think, oh my God, we've got Norwich away next week.
Well, we're not in the Middlesbrough. If we get through the Middlesbrough game, that is officially a year at home, isn't it? Unbeaten.
Which is
So
like I know like we keep going on about it, but it is actually
that's
insane.
crazy. Yeah,
It is
yeah.
crazy. You know, we've had 2 different managers by that point.
And I think people will probably like from outside perspective, there'll still be people that go, oh well, it's still Norwich. Like they're not even like in the blah blah. But yeah, I think player wise, it must, even if it's like a 1% effectiveness, you must be thinking, geez, like we're gonna have to top of our game here to get absolutely anything from this.
Exactly.
And I think
But do
that's
you
great.
think it like kind of do you think obviously the players know about it as well, but do you think that wants to make them play even better at home as well? Like you
I've
don't want to be a part of the 11 that finally breaks that streak. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
If there's a better team on the day, fair enough. You can't argue with that. Like that's just football for you. You know, there will probably be a team that, you know, will come and probably absolutely do us. They've probably got all the tactics right. We may have an off day, we'll probably lose. Fair enough. But I think it does definitely play a part in the performances by the players as well. I think they do know obviously what the record is and how it is. They're not silly. They're not stupid.
Yeah, no, I think that's right, and it's like I try and like think about it from like our perspectives and stuff like that. That yeah, the last thing you want to be part of is the team that unfortunately the longer it goes on, the more pressure you're going to feel. I personally think because
Agreed.
you're not gonna want that broken, but because you're not going to want that broken, you're surely going to be playing out your skin to make sure it doesn't happen.
Exactly. But it is just insane. It is insane.
There's no other words. It's a joke at the end of the day.
I don't well I can't see us doing it again anytime soon. Whenever it does stop, I can't
I don't think
I
it will
just
do.
can't see it happening.
Go a whole season again.
I think, yeah, but I'll just enjoy it whilst it lasts, I guess, you know, because I don't think we'll be seeing anything like this in a long time.
No,
Um,
I think you're right.
it's just incredible. But you know, I think I don't want to touch on it too much. I think you know I'm going to go with this, but unfortunately, and bizarrely, in my opinion, a lot of the talking point was about Abu Kamara when he came on. It's just a weird thing to really be having to talk about. My views on it is personally like I know he got a bit of stick, and obviously what like Norwich fans are upset over what he done, and I think obviously the day was like World Mental Health Day, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I think there are a few people that didn't agree with the chants and the so-called abuse that he got when he came on, but in my eyes, like what what's different to the so-called abuse that were given to all their other players on that day,
Well,
and
so
what about the whole fans giving our players abuse when they were singing it? Like,
I think there was one person that I saw on Twitter summed it up perfectly right. Is that let's be honest, you got Kamara, what's the score? Kamara, it could have been you. Got called a wanker, and I think who are you? They're the four that I remember, right? What difference is that to any stick a referee gets? Does anyone pipe up when the ref is getting? And I'm not saying it makes it right. I'm not saying it makes it right. But you don't hear everyone going, well, it's World Mental Health Day today, and we've just told the ref that he's shit at his job.
agreed.
Like, you just don't do it. And I don't think, if I'm honest, I don't think Kamara's coming off the pitch going, well,
He applauded
that's
everyone
all.
at the
Yeah,
end.
yeah, that's what I mean. Like, and fair enough. That's the bigger man to go around applaud people. And you know what? that's that. In my eyes, that's that. Because I don't think personally, I don't think it was a Johnny Rowe situation where he completely down tools, but he made his position clear. That's what I want to do, and that's that. But it's football. You leave a club, even people that left on good terms, and then say a couple of things. Johnny Howson left a club legend. He said a couple of things in interviews, and everyone turns on him. Like,
Agreed.
and Kamara played however many minutes, 70 odd minutes for Norwich. Like, you're gonna get a bit of stick. It's all it is at the end. I know there's a lot of whole journalists which have made some very questionable comments.
What do they say then?
Regarding it, around. I can't say what he's actually, because if it turned out all the stuff that he was accusing Norwich fans of, he said a lot worse on X. So yeah, I just think Chinese whispers go around, don't they, around what was being said. It all snowballs. The people at the game know what was said. Mara went around clapping the fans at the end. In my eyes, that's that. It's done. Like, I don't think there needs to be anything else on it. I don't think there will. The fact that both managers have said, yeah, you know what, it's fair enough. Fans are entitled to feel how they feel. That's that. That's football. They've both of them have said it.
Yeah.
What? I don't know why, when people that have either worked directly with Kamara or working directly with Kamara, right? So would have spoken to him after the game. They probably both spoke to him after the game, and probably both made comments around the reception he got. If they're saying that's football, that's done, that's all we need to hear, in my opinion.
If you're getting offended over the comments that were said to Kamara on that game, I personally don't think football's for you. Going to games are for you, because I'm not being funny. Norwich fans have said a lot worse to other players during their time at Carrow Road, and obviously not to like the really bad degree, but stuff. What I'm trying to say is the stuff that was said to Kamara is said nearly every bloody week at Carrow Road.
Yeah,
Either to a player that does something or a ref, like you said. And I just don't understand why this one case has been kind of brought and blown up the way that it has.
Yeah,
because it happens every single week.
And that's why I also don't overly get the people working on the World Mental Health Day kind of stance of like, well, it's World Mental Health Day, so we shouldn't be doing that. So if they did it the week after, that's absolutely fine. Like, because if you're saying it's not okay on this day, technically you're saying it shouldn't be okay on any day. And unfortunately, football's tribal at the end of the day, isn't it? It gets people riled up, and I like to think that sensible football fans, it happens in those 90 minutes. After the 90 minutes, after people leave the stadium, it's done.
Yeah,
that's what it is. And I just think that if you're saying because it's World Mental Health Day, which by the way the club do fantastic things for, and a fantastic kind of leaders within the football industry on kind of the promotions they do, the minutes on silence start and things like that. The club do fantastic work at the end of the day. But I do just think if you're then relating it to that directly, and that it shouldn't be said because of that particular day, your standpoint should be that it should never be said. And if that is your standpoint, absolutely fine. That's your opinion. But you go into football probably knowing that that's going to happen, and you've got to be prepared to hear that wherever you're sat in the stadium, and then it's up to you to say, I'm happy to hear that, or no, I'm not, I'll watch the game at home.
I get your point, and I completely agree with what you're saying, but saying Kamara, it could have been you, is fine any day.
Yeah, I think it was more
there's nothing wrong with that.
I think it's probably more the wanker chance. I'll be honest.
He didn't really even get that.
But it is what it is, isn't it? It is what it is. It's happened. Kamara, the whole haven't come out and gone.
But they
Because
wouldn't know. It wouldn't,
no,
because it's
rightly
no
so.
different.
No, that's what I mean though. Like rightly so. If there was anything that crossed the line, I believe clubs should come out and make statements and say, like it's
100%,
being
I agreed.
reported. But
100%.
and they would have done that if anything crossed the line, or if anything had been reported of being said that had crossed the line with kind of evidence of that. And I fully support that. And it hasn't happened. So, and the fact his own manager has come out and said it is what it is, basically, that's football. I think as fans, Hull fans and Norwich fans, just got to draw a line under it now and just move on.
Yeah, agreed. Time to move on from it. It's just one of them things. I think it got blown up way out of proportion for really no reason, if I'm honest. But if you're entitled to your opinion, if you believe obviously that was a bit too much, then completely fine. That's your opinion. But I think, like you say, the fact that nothing's really come to light of it kind of says a lot about that situation. I think it's time. Obviously, we move on from that. And
We do indeed.
so the last bit that I want to speak about is we did put a post on X, didn't we? Asking you guys obviously what you want us to review the last few games. We've got a few responses. So Carl says, I think there's been some really good trends that we're starting to see, chances created, defensive strength, etc. I think it's still too early to get too carried away, but I love watching a game again, and that's all you can ask for. Keep fit, and JS starts scoring. Josh Sargent could be good. Carl, completely agree with you, 110%. Like I said on the other pod as well, it's just so exciting watching Norwich City at the moment play football, and there's just that excitement on the social media that Norwich are playing today, Norwich are playing tomorrow. We're just itching to watch Norwich City play football again. I think you are right. It is too early at the moment to get too carried away, but
That won't stop us.
no, that won't stop us, and yeah, it's just so exciting watching Norwich again.
I think as well, the weird thing is like we could get better. I think there was a stat about that we had missed the most big chances created, or something along those lines. Mental stat that we had basically missed a load of big chances. I think it was the most in the league. So
Yeah,
you put that on top of where we're at, we're cooking. But Carl is right. There's still a long way to go, and I just think everyone is kind of getting quite excited because we didn't think it would be this quick.
yeah.
And I think that's the pleasant thing. We've got another reply from Chris, not myself, Chris Allen, and he put every game has been another step forward. The season is getting exciting, and whatever happens, we've got the feel-good factor back at Carrow Road with the football we're playing. And I think it's just spot on again. Like as you said, everyone's excited. Like you're excited to watch the football.
Mm-hmm.
There was matches last year which I
Dark
turned up
days.
to, and then the game ended, and I just thought, could have probably done something else with my afternoon.
Well, some people didn't even bother going.
Yeah, it was that kind of dark days, and I just think, yeah, Chris summed it up. It's the feel good factor around the whole club, not just kind of match day. I just think around the whole club, Twitter/X, like just feels in a good place. Like, yes, some people get carried away. Am I one of those people? Yes, I am. But that's the fun of it. Like, I think if we're all honest, like we realistically know where we be, and just getting carried away with it's just part of the fun. I don't think anyone really that we're going to piss the league, but if you can't enjoy when we're playing well and winning games, you'll never enjoy football, in my opinion. So I'm all for getting carried away at this point in time, and we've got to enjoy playing well whilst it lasts.
No, agreed. Completely agreed. It's been absolutely amazing at the moment. It's just great watching Norwich, the way that they are. Ben says positive signs in terms of playing strategy and shape. Also seeing the youngsters get game time and doors open for Fisher and starting 11. Duffy has looked more solid and Nunes is playing with freedom since Gabby's gone. Again, completely agree. Completely fair statement. We knew that obviously Thorup was gonna give chances to the youth. I think he kind of said that from day dot, didn't he? Then, and I think Napa said that's kind of the reason why we got him in, because he buys into the youth and he buys into the youth kind of system. And Napa felt like he was a perfect fit for us to give them youngsters the minutes. I think there's two standouts for me, right? So you've got Kellen Fisher at right back, who is absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah, he's a joke.
I think he's got 2 man of the matches this week. It's just crazy, and for him to kind of come into that side the way that he has, obviously he's been training well, and he has had that experience, but maybe they didn't want to rush him, but you look at his quality and think, why wasn't he in sooner? Do you know what I mean? Probably because Stacey wasn't playing necessarily bad. He's just got so much talent, Fisher. Yeah, I think he signed a new contract with us, hasn't he? He's definitely a player where we're probably going to get quite a bit of money from.
I hope he never leaves, Leeds, to be honest. I don't want any money to stay.
Yeah. And the second one I want to kind of speak about is Shortau. I know, obviously, people say he hasn't been like the best. I think he's been good. I think he's like really intelligent, and I think for me is what we've got to remember is he's only 18.
Yeah. Is that? I didn't know if he was 18 or not. Yeah,
I thought he was only 18.
Well, either way, he's ridiculously.
He's very young, and he's starting games, and he's kind of proven himself in the championship at that age. I think that's absolutely nuts. Like, obviously, don't get me wrong. There's a way to go with him. He does need to adapt to the game a little bit more. And obviously, it's all a learning curve. But he has done so well in that position since arriving. I think it was always going to be a big ask, wasn't it? Playing in where he does in that position at his age, it's a very physical game. But he's done really, really well, and I'm really excited to see, what comes from him, because he's a high-rated prospect, isn't he? And he's bloody tall as well.
Yeah, no, he is an actual.
He's a unit, isn't he?
That's what I like. But that's kind of a common theme, though. Like, Cernat's a unit. Slimani's kind of stocky in build. Like, it does seem a little bit of a theme of, like, you've got to be able to carry yourself in a certain way, and not be like. I just feel like we're not getting bullied as much as we have in the past. Like,
yeah,
I think we've always, for as long as I remember, I feel like we've always had a bit of a soft underbelly. Like, if a team came to hit us off the pitch, we wouldn't really kind of hit back. And I don't get that impression with this team now. Like, I get that. Like, I mean, Fisher, for example, just absolutely just batters everyone that he sees.
Those challenges, he goes in hard.
I'll be honest. If that was against us, I'd be like, Jesus Christ, this man's going to get a red card.
He goes in hard.
Yeah,
and that's not even like us joking. Like he's clattering into these players. he's letting them know what he's about, and I absolutely love that.
Yeah,
You know,
I'm all for it.
he's telling his wingers like, look, you've got all the skills, you've probably got all the pace, but look, I'm fucking Kellen Fisher, and I'm here to put a name for myself, and
Yeah.
he's done an absolute amazing job, and I can't think, I'll be honest here, I can't think of many goals that have come from that right side since he's been in that position.
Yeah,
I actually don't think any have, in all honesty.
No, I'd probably.
He's so
I'm trying to think.
solid in that position.
He's so intelligent. Like, his footballing IQ is ridiculously good. Like,
It's crazy.
the way that he just positions himself and stuff like that. And I know this pod's been going on for a little bit, but I just also wanted to. I know I got a little bit of abuse. I gave my hands up. I might have got that wrong, but I'm just adamant there is a very good player in there, and I'm just waiting for that first goal. And I think once that goes in, we are cooking with that man.
For Cernats,
Yeah.
the player that you can't rate right on X.
No, I said I held my hands up.
Well, exactly. He's one of them players that, look, he's a winger, yes. Has he been scoring goals? No. Do we actually need him to be scoring them goals at the moment when we've got the outlets of Sargent and Sainz and, you know, Nunez in there? Like, obviously, you want him to score, don't get me wrong, but, you know, it's not a necessity at the moment for him to be doing that. Like Sargent, what he does, the runs that he makes, the passes that he does, is so vital to what we do and how we play.
Yeah, I think it's his pressing game for me.
Yeah,
like
stuff like that, exactly that.
That man does not stop. Like, no. He just keeps on running and running and running. And
how old is he as well?
I think he's only 20, probably maybe 19. Like, I just want him to get that first goal. That's all I want from him. Get that first goal, get that confidence, because I do feel like he is needing that now to, like, really build upon. And once he's got that, I think we are comfortably cooking with that man.
He's 20 years old.
There you go. So, yeah, I think get him his first goal, and I personally think we're away. So, but I just want to give him a little mention. Oh God. Oh.
Oscar Schwartau, born 17th of May 2006.
Oh my God. That's so different. That's so depressing.
He's so good at football, and he's only 18 years old. He's 1 meter 86. What's that? 6'4", 6'3"?
God no! Oh my God! I can't believe he's. That's so.
He's born in 2006.
Well, fair play to the bloke.
I remember crying about England getting knocked out of the World Cup at that age.
He was
he was a month old at that point.
Oh my God!
Little did I know at that point it'd be
someone was just
Norwich is
born.
29.
Someone was just born that will play for Norwich.
What a player, though! Honestly, he has so much potential. But again, that is just the Norwich way, isn't it? You know, I think we go back to the Maddison. When Maddison went, oh no, Maddison's gone. What are we going to do? Oh no, Murphy's are gone. What are we going to do?
Yeah.
Oh no, you know, Lewis, Aarons, Godfrey have gone. What we're going to do? Oh no, Sarah's gone. What we're going to do?
Yeah.
It's just the same thing with Norwich. We're bringing in that youth, and we find a way, and we're bringing in that talent. You know, we'll say the same about Sainz, but no doubt Schwartau will step up, or Cernats will step up and be our big next thing. You know, we've got Fisher there, right back. You know, we've got good youth here for the long run, and you know, it's such. You know, I think if we look back to previous, kind of go back 10 years or so, that there wasn't really that much was there with the youth. But now, you know, the money that we make from these players, youth or getting on a cheap, is absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah, well, it's fundamental to how the club's ran, isn't it?
Exactly that, and you can't argue with it. Football. You always find a way. But with Norwich, it just seems like, yep, okay, the best player's gone, but we're now gonna create you another one.
Yeah, no, it's a little bit like, eh, not on the extent, but it's a little bit like the Brighton model, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like
No, it is.
they lose someone, bang, they've then suddenly got someone else.
I guess that's credit to the scouts, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And we just do it a slightly different way, don't we? So
Mm-hmm.
rather than, well, I mean, technically Callum Fisher, we scoured, but yeah, I think that's just the model that we go for. Work, can't complain.
Where was he from? Was it Bromley?
Bromley, yeah, So
What was that like? 500k? Was it 250? Something
I
like that.
think so. Yeah, it was something along those lines. But either way, like, we've done extremely well there. It's extremely exciting times. Yeah, I just hate international breaks. I just wish we were playing.
Yeah, well, uh, two things on the international break just quickly. Gunn's obviously withdrawn from the
Yeah,
Scotland team, and Nunes is also withdrawn from the Chile team. Not
yeah.
sure if they're just doing that, to try and be
I
fit for the
think
league.
the Nunes one has come out that he will potentially miss the game back from
Just
international
the
break.
one game now.
That's what I'd read, but you never know with those things. You don't know if they're being overcautious, but that will be a bit of a gutter. But it's time for then someone else to step up, isn't it? You could then play McLean, Slimani, like, or
How good is our subs though?
we haven't even mentioned Forson.
Oh yeah, true.
Like, we haven't even mentioned Forson. You could play Forson. You then got Cade Gordon bench. Like, we're in a position that we haven't been in for so long.
A good bench.
Yeah, a good bench. Like, apart from Hanley, Long, and probably Forsyth, you look at that bench, you probably go, and you'd have to say Hills because he hasn't started a championship game.
No, I'm happy with the whole bench.
But but like all of those, you go, oh, like, I'm not worried really if any of them start in the championship.
Well, that's what I mean. Like Hanley still does a job at CB if we want to
Yeah,
like get a win.
I thought Long. I know he didn't have
But
loads to
really
do,
good.
but I thought he had a good cameo. Like, and I
He
know people
did.
weren't happy about the contract situation, but I thought he had a good cameo. He was very calm on the ball. He knew when to go long. He knew when to play short, Duffy or Cordova.
He's good with
I
his feet. He is good with his
yeah,
feet.
like
Just
I was,
shame he has a hole in his gloves.
but
No, I'm joking. I'm joking. He done very, very well.
yeah, like that was. It sounds very silly. That was like the perfect thing for him to have a
100%.
half where he didn't actually have lots to do. But
He did. He made a good couple saves, didn't he?
yeah, but
His
he weren't getting
distribution was
like,
great, like you said.
yeah, he weren't getting peppered, but he had enough to build his confidence up,
Yeah, 100%.
which works perfectly. I don't want Gunn to be injured, but if he is injured, it works perfectly for him to come in, step up for being Gunn's replacement.
Well, do you think the contract has something to do with Gunn's contract? Because
Uh,
he's on his last year here at the moment.
I think they
Um,
probably wanted to nail down, because obviously Reyes is probably the next in line.
yeah, I just saying. Do you think they just want that security of having a
Yeah,
keeper at the moment? Because obviously we don't know what's going on with Gunn at the moment. Will he sign? Will he not? I think from reports that they're in discussions at the moment, aren't they? I don't think anything's concrete. Whatever that may be, you don't know. I think could he play in a different league? Probably. Um, you just don't know. His circumstance may be different. I don't know. He may want to move somewhere. You just never know. But yeah, I just think that long contract kind of secures that keeper for us in the interim if he does go.
I think my argument for that, because I know this is terrible. My argument for that though would be that there's people going, there's better second keepers out there, but I haven't done my research on this, but I don't know how many of those second will have been at a club before the first keeper came along. Because I think it's very rare, or it's very tricky sometimes to find, a good or decent second goalkeeper who has championship experience that is happy sitting on the bench and helping the team, and also a very good personality around the team.
Yeah,
because they're all the boxes that he tick. Yes, sometimes he has a gaff in him, but I
all
think
keepers do though.
Yeah, I think it's extremely hard to find. Would you rather Reyes be on the bench not playing at all? Would you rather him getting? You'd rather him be getting league experience. You don't want him potentially sitting on the bench for a whole season and then not getting a game. He might only get 2 games in the cup if we got knocked out early both rounds.
Yeah, agreed.
So yeah,
Completely agree, my man.
I think it made sense to me personally.
So, last bit before we wrap it up. I don't know if it was a shock, but we'll say a shock. Shock free agent signing.
Yes. Emiliano Marcondes.
Condes. I think that's a cracking signing.
Yeah, I'm very happy with it, especially after his
And I
cameo
was absolutely sold by when he came on against Hull.
I know we were winning 4-0. Probably couldn't have been much easier debut for him, but once again, I think we've recruited in a way to benefit the whole team. We haven't gone for like individual brilliance or big ego. By all intents and purposes, this man trains like an absolute man, and has an amazing personality around the camp.
Exactly
Again, what more could you want?
And I think the main thing is he's got very good championship experience as well.
Yeah.
He knows the championship through and through. I think he got promoted with Brentford through the playoffs. I think he had good time at Bournemouth as well when they're in the championship and probably in the Prem. I think he just understands the game. I think he's got a good relationship with Thorup.
Yeah, he played in Denmark with him.
Played in Denmark with him. I think he has his own like football charity as well, or like scouting thing for Danish football. And I think obviously Thorup was probably a big advocate on getting him here. But I just think obviously, unfortunately, Hernandez, his injury is probably not looking great, and he's going to be out for a long while. So we do kind of need that replacement. I know we've got Gordon, but would Gordon alone be enough? Probably not. You probably want that like security. Get someone on a free, that's happy to probably not start every game, play some here and there, but happy to kind of do a job for the team where they can. And he is that player. I think again, it just strengthens our bench as well. It's just so nice to see that we've actually got options off from the bench that can all come in and just do a good job when they come on. Yeah. I'm not saying I have had this before. I mean, I definitely have, but you don't see a player come on a pitch and think, "Oh, for God's sake, well, we just done that." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you just have like the belief and trust that they
all serve like purpose now.
Yeah.
Like their strengths, what they. Because I personally think the cameos we've had from Gordon. Oh my word! Like you can tell he's playing in a Klopp team with intensity presses.
Yeah, the aggressive presses that he has are nuts.
Oh, this is very much getting ahead of ourselves. But if we were to get promoted, like I know he lost so much, but like he's the kind of sign like someone that's just up to speed, can play aggressively in people's faces, and bits like that. Because I've been very impressed with him. But yeah, the strength in the bench is now so much better than what it has been in previous seasons, and it just really adds to an already impressive starting lineup.
Definitely. And if we do go up to the Prem, Callum Doyle is number one on that list.
Oh yeah, I dread to think how much he'd.
How much you reckon? 20, 25 mil?
Yeah, I think he's a £25 million personally. I think he improved. Let's be honest. I genuinely think he improves any currently in the bottom half of the Premier League.
I mean, unfortunately, he's definitely going to have Premier League teams sniffing around him at the moment, isn't he?
Yeah.
Do
they have Vicky's omelettes? No, they don't. No, only one reason why.
It wasn't enough for Sarah to say, was it?
Yeah, but he did come back for him. So
what, whilst collecting his stuff?
Yeah. He still had an omelette. So get Doyle on those, and he'd have to stay. But yeah, I'd love that. I can't see that. Can't see that happening.
You're absolutely
sadly.
right. Again, it is a bit too early to get too ahead of ourselves, but like we said, you got to think the best. I think we're way above expectations. I think what's probably cemented that is the friendly run that we had and the start of the season against Oxford. I think the friendlies probably didn't go to plan. We didn't win many at all.
No.
And obviously the Oxford run, I think everyone was probably expecting us to beat Oxford, being newcomers to the league. And I think they were hoping their points there. But
they've done well this year, but like our defeat is looking. I know it wasn't great. They're picking up results at places we wouldn't necessarily expect. I'm not saying we should be happy with losing, but I don't think they're any mugs good. Like what we maybe thought they would be. But I think you're spot on with that.
Yeah, but yeah, Norwich City doing really, really well at the moment. Flying high. God, I'd love a trip to Wembley. That's all I'm going to say, and a good cup run. But let's hope it continues. It's really, really good to see. The kind of togetherness of Norwich again, and fans enjoying it. 'Cause it has been quite toxic, and it's just really, really nice going there on a match day at the moment. So hope that continues. Got a few tough games obviously coming up soon as well. Got Stoke away. Obviously our coach went to Stoke. So that'll be a tough game. Obviously I think we then got Preston midweek. And then is that Middlesbrough at home?
I believe so, yeah. It's 2 away games to Middlesbrough.
Tough games coming up, and I think the Leeds game and the derby and the whole game was a real true test to see where we are as a team at the moment. And I think the proof was in the pudding. I think Norwich City have got a quite good team this year. But like football always is, it's all about consistency, isn't it? And let's hope that does stay consistent throughout the season, and we keep getting the points that we are. But yeah, Chris, anything more from you, mate?
No, just make sure you're obviously subscribed, like the video, go and check out the matchday vlogs. We've got home and away vlogs at the moment, and we'll be looking to do more. So yeah, any support on those really helps, gets us to kind of have a gauge of what you guys are enjoying, and then obviously make sure you're following Canaries chat on it. But yeah, apart from that, no, it's been a very enjoyable nearly hour and a half speaking about Norwich Youth League.
It's been amazing. Well, thank you all for listening. Chris, thank you again for your valuable time. If you could give us a follow on the socials, that would be amazing. Obviously, let us know, like Chris said, on what more you'd want to see, and obviously let us know how the vlogs are going as well. But yeah, international break now. We could put our feet up and have a rest from the manic week that we've had from Norwich City FC, and let's enjoy the games to come. And hopefully, when we record our next pod, we'll have some more points on the board from the games that are coming. So, thank you all for listening, and we'll see you next time.